Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your August bonus reading for August of 2025. You start with this card that says nothing will come of the situation, and also this card that says it's time to release negativity. And a lot of the readings have been talking about mindset this month of August. Even the actual monthly readings that I did had a lot of stuff about mindset and like where your mind is at and all that other stuff, which, it kind of makes sense because we had Mercury go retrograde in Leo, and it will be retrograde until August 11th in Leo. And, Leo has a lot to do with, not necessarily mindset, and here you go, Leo, right here. But it does have to do with kind of your confidence and, maybe how we appear to the world and our vitality and, things that are kind of related. So I guess that what I'm trying to say is it kind of makes sense that this message of needing to be more positive, needing to focus on mindset, and kind of like how we think about ourselves has been coming up so much. It kind of makes sense. So, there you go. You start with the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands is your current general energies. So I feel for a lot of you, this is how, we're doing a Celtic cross for these bonus readings, and the first card is how you're entering into the reading, which is great as the Queen of Wands, because, she is bold, confident, she needs to be those things, but you do also have the King of Wands. So I do feel a lot of you kind of naturally just are being bold, confident, assertive, going for what you want, doing the things that you need to do and all that other stuff right now. So, again, I like normally with the Queen of Wands, I would tell people that I feel like they need to do this, right? But that's not really what I feel for you, because I feel like you actually are already doing this, being more confident, bold, assertive. Now, this is also really good for love because you have the King of Wands showing up right here. King of Wands is showing up in the area of your closest relationships in the Celtic Cross. So this definitely could be a fiery new connection coming in for you. And you always get fire signs with me in love. Again, I'm not saying it has to be a fire sign. It could just be a fiery connection. So take it how it resonates. But, definitely could be a strong connection. Your crossing energy is the Justice card. I don't know. I'm really hearing that you have to stop settling here, Taurus. I'm not getting, any just traditional justice energy here. It's really saying to me something about settling. Like sometimes I feel with the Justice card that we are trying to negotiate with ourselves. We want things. There are certain things that we want and desire in life. And I feel like this card, the crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you. But more what's popping into my head, and again, I read intuitively, is that you need to be unapologetic in what you're asking for. If there, I feel like if there's any waiver in what you're asking for, then you're not going to get it. If you want something, you need to say, this is what I want and this is it. And there is no negotiation. I will not settle. It's again, we see all this confidence showing up in this reading. So it's I think when you develop that level, that delusional self-confidence almost, or that delusional level of confidence, if that makes sense, that people who are like that usually get what they want. So, I definitely feel like that's what's going on here with the Justice card. You also have the Knight of Swords. One thing I will say about the Knight of Swords and the Justice card crossing together, like it is in this reading, sometimes I feel the Knight of Swords is like a clue card for me as a reader, and sometimes I feel like the Knight of Swords says, don't, it does say, the Knight of Swords is a card that says don't jump to conclusions. But as far as a clue is concerned in a reading, sometimes I feel like the Knight of Swords says that you need to get a second opinion on something. And that's definitely popping into my head here, Taurus, especially involving money. We go down to the Queen of Pentacles here. I might have said this to you in one of your recent readings, and if I did, this is definitely true for the month of August, right? I'm pretty sure I just said this. As I'm saying this, I'm having deja vu for you, Taurus. But the Knight of Swords says, don't just accept any old price. If you're getting your car fixed, or if you're having something expensive done, like work done on your house, or whatever. The Knight of Swords sometimes, like I said, is a clue to me that says do not just accept the first price, or make sure you're getting an actual deal. And because the Knight of Swords can be moving too quickly, but it can also say that you're getting screwed. So don't get screwed is what I kind of feel like this is saying, as far as things that you're spending money on, and don't be too quick to accept the first price. So maybe you need to negotiate, or again, maybe you need to get a second opinion, especially if it's something like, your car or whatever. It's like maybe the person that you went through just doesn't know a better way, so I would do your research, especially if you're spending money. You have the Knight of Swords in the area of what's on your mind. The area of what's on your mind could say that you are having rushing thoughts this month. This is going to be a very common energy for people because of Uranus and Gemini. I think for pretty much everyone as a collective, that our thoughts could be moving a little bit too fast. And, maybe and I don't really think this is like good or bad. I just feel maybe we need to slow things down. I always tell people as well, what you also need is you need one of these right here. So right here, little field notes book, right? And in here, anytime I have a crazy ass idea, I put it in here. And again, you don't share your ideas with anyone, right? So there are ideas right there, and you make sure that you don't tell anyone what your ideas are, right? And that is how we can slow things down. We come up with an idea for any area of our life, we write it down, and we just think about it, right? If we don't do that, then we'll probably lose it. And the other problem is that we might not get clear on the idea for our life. And again, this could be any type of an idea. It could be an idea for your health, a business, like something you want to accomplish, a goal, whatever. I would just write them down, and I would have them somewhere, because you have to slow it down to be able to actually implement it in your life. And this is a good way to do it, because every morning I look at my idea list and I'm like, oh, maybe this would work, maybe that would work, right? And it's not about coming up with the right answers. It's just about slowing the energy down so that you can filter through those ideas and find the good ones, right? And so I would slow things down with the Knight of Swords. I would also make sure that you're avoiding people who are trying to rush you into things or push you into things. Definitely popping into my head with the Knight of Swords. In the area of your foundation, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you. He's walking away from these 8 cups, and he doesn't know where he's going. He just knows that he's not willing to settle on these 8 cups, which we just talked about how you need to not settle. So, the whole point of the 8 of Cups is he has no clue if he's going to find fulfillment, but that is the journey he is on. He is on the journey of finding true fulfillment in his life, and he's not sure if he's ever going to find it, but he just knows that he's not willing to accept less than he deserves right here, these 8 cups. So, again, a lot of you are probably on this journey. This is one of the only cards in the tarot that has an eclipse on it right here. And so, obviously the next set of eclipses starts in September. And so, we are kind of in between eclipses still in August, And so a lot of you could be kind of making those final decisions that you have been thinking about making since the first set of eclipses this year, right? And that's pretty much all I'm getting here off the Eight of Cups. But I really do feel, that the Justice card is saying don't settle for less. And, don't allow yourself to do it either. Next, in the area of your past, this is the energy of what you're moving past. You have this Ears Wide Open card and this Deep Breath card. I feel like you have learned to slow things down. It's like you've learned to not get too far ahead of yourself and get too excited. And I also feel like you've learned how to play the politics game in life. I'm not talking about literal politics here. I'm talking about I feel like you've learned how to really listen to what people are saying and aren't saying with this Ears Wide Open card. It's kind of like a superpower, and as a matter of fact, it's something that came up a lot during the 2025 yearly readings that I did at the beginning of the year. That 2025 would be a year where you really need to listen to what's not being said more than what is being said, right? And I think that's what people need to listen to. They need to read between the lines. Kind of interesting that in the Chinese zodiac, it's the year of the snake. It's reading between the lines, snake energy, sneaky energy. You know what I mean? It's there's something going on there. So I think that you've learned how to do those things. Also in the past, you have the Strength card. I feel like you have been patient. I do feel that it is time to move forward, with the Strength card. This past position represents the energy of what you are moving past at this time. So I think a lot of you are moving past the past. You're moving past things that required a lot of work on yourself. I feel that some of you need to see how much work you've done on yourself as well. I'm not calling you weak here, Taurus, when I say this, but I just think that some of you think that you are less than you actually are, is what I feel like saying. So it's again, this is, it's bad if you stay in that mindset, but I think you're much stronger, much more capable than you realize. And so I feel like this card is encouraging you to take action, especially on things that you don't feel strong enough to do, because it's like you're probably a lot stronger than you think. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this thought in love card. So some of you could literally be thinking about love as well. And you have the Two of Cups coming up in the next few months. So definitely could be love potential coming in for you. The funny thing is that you have the Queen of Pentacles showing up also in this area of the very near future. So the thing is that I would say that this is more big picture for you here, Taurus. Like, yeah, absolutely, there could be love here. You have a very, if you want it, there's like a very passionate connection, King and Queen of Wands showing up here. But I think this is more saying that you are trying to figure out how you can do more of what you love in life. The Queen of Pentacles is all about your resources. And you have that thought card. And, it's kind of funny because, in some ways, I feel that some of you, I don't know that you're necessarily upset, but you could just be thinking about certain limitations in being able to do what you love. So it's like, imagine if you wanted to learn how to go flying an airplane, right? It's like, I don't know if you've checked recently, but it costs a lot of money to learn how to fly an airplane, right? And so you might be thinking to yourself, like, I would love to go do this thing, but it's going to cost a lot of money. And maybe you don't have, right? And again, this is not a bad thing, because I feel the Queen of Pentacles is very resourceful. If she doesn't have the money to do something, she will find the resource necessary to be able to do it. And, again, maybe she would join the Air Force, right? I'm not saying this is a good idea or a bad idea, but, maybe she would, find some sort of job that would pay her to do it. There's like, the list goes on and on, right? So I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be easy, and we're definitely not in an easy time. So, it's like a lot of people always say to me how hard it is, the thing that they want to do in their life. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like, unfortunately, that's a point of being alive right now, is that anything we want to do is going to be hard, but it will be worth it, right? And so that's why I encourage people to go after these hard goals. I don't know. Let's just pretend that it cost $20,000 to get your pilot license. I don't know how much it actually is, but let's just pretend that's how much it cost, right? It's like, maybe you don't have that, obviously, and maybe that feels like a little bit of a stretch, but, again, I think if you, put your thinking cap on, you might be able to come up with some quick solutions. It's like, maybe you don't realize that you have a skill that you could monetize that would make you the money or whatever. So I kind of get that energy here that the Queen of Pentacles is you with that Justice card as well would say that you need to balance out your resources so that you can do what you love. And I definitely feel that that is a big theme in this reading. This is going to be something that you're probably going to work on for years, not even just this month. Next, in your outcome, you have this limitation card. There you go. It says trapped, repressed, lack of resources. You cannot make that up. There you go. You have this swimming card. It says subconscious, emotions, deep feelings. Yeah, I think you need to follow your feelings in a lot of ways. Definitely, I didn't even see that limitations card. And so that's pretty crazy. Again, I think that some of you, it's like, yeah, there are limitations, of course. But it's like, what are you going to do about it, is what I would say. I think that you're much more powerful than you realize, Taurus. It's like, if you really set your mind to it and you really put in the work, that you could easily make this happen. Again, I think that people don't realize, like, I'm not saying AI is a good thing. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure. I'm kind of 50-50 about it in some ways. Like, I see some of the good stuff that could come from it, but I also believe that basically they're trying to make AI God, and they're going to try to, get us to upload ourselves to Mark Zuckerberg's brain or something like that. I don't know. It's weird, right? So it, could also be, the AI could also be the devil as well. I see both sides. But what I would say here is, at the same time, I think that there's more of an opportunity to build insane wealth right now through the power of AI, and you're going to have to learn about it, right? That's just one example. I think there are plenty of other examples as well. I always say the gatekeepers are gone. You don't need a publisher anymore to publish a book, for example. You can just publish it on Amazon. Same thing with YouTube. You don't need to, go to Harvey Weinstein and get approved to be in a movie anymore. And I wouldn't recommend it. Hollywood is full of the devil, period. Plain and simple. Right? We can do it ourselves right now on YouTube, right? So the gatekeepers are gone. And again, I think that there's a lot of wealth that you could create here, Taurus, but it's like you're going to have to do it to get the resources to do what you love, right? Next, in the area of the next few months, you have the Two of Cups. I do feel love here. So, Two of Cups is usually someone who's different than your usual type. Everybody gets this nowadays because love has changed and energetically, just in general. So I think a lot of us could be attracting a different type of person in love. I also feel that this is you and your higher self. I do believe our higher selves are really guiding us at this time as well. Like, we really need to tap in, meditate, do like the spiritual side of things, if that makes sense, like the spiritual work we have to do and all that other good stuff. And that's what I would do with the Two of Cups. It is you and your higher self. So again, you could be getting a lot of communication from your higher self, or from your intuition, from your dreams, from your daydreams, and I would do things to make that happen. If you are attracting love, this could be something that starts as communication. I don't know, this, like, all of a sudden in like July, August, people started getting these messages of like something starting with communication. So it could just be like a collective love energy where people start by talking to a person, then it kind of goes from there. So there you go. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the King of Wands. So it could be a fire sign or just a fiery person. Again, take it how it resonates. That's coming in for you. I would say, no matter what, it's probably someone who's very bold, assertive, confident. This would be the type of person who kind of makes the first move. And so there you go. It could be that type of person. I also feel that there could be like a person just like this in your life. Not love. I mean, you could love this person, of course, but I think this is like a person who could be helping get you motivated, or helping to get you on the right track. And that's absolutely what I would be doing with the King of Wands. Is I would be doing something to get on, to allow a person to get you on the right track. It's like, I feel like there's a person who challenges you here. Like, it could be a parent, a family member, a friend. For some of you, I feel it is a brand new friend, is what I would say. Just, I don't know, that's like the vibe I get from the reading, is that if you're doing anything to meet new people, friend-wise, this could be like a new friend. It's kind of like one of those people where it's like they piss you off, but in a good way. That's what's popping into my head for some reason. It's almost like they challenge you in a good way, right? And so if you meet a person like that, I would say this would be amazing, Taurus. Definitely would lead to a lot more success. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Queen of Swords, which is, again, great. Queen of Swords is about clarity. This particular retrograde seems to be an amazing one for people to get clarity. And by the end of the retrograde, so like August 11th or so, I feel that a lot of you could be seeing things more clearly in life. And you could just be feeling like you have answers on like what your next step should be. It wouldn't surprise me if some of you are getting answers right now. Today is July 26th, so this will be published on July 27th, before August, of course, but it's like even right now when you're watching this, you could be having epiphanies and all this other stuff. Right? Like, right here. This is where those epiphanies need to go. I've had some big ones, and, it's like, it's kind of gotten me moving on some new projects and some new things. Well, old projects, but new, right? Which makes sense during retrograde. So, yeah, there you go. Trust your clarity. You have the Knight of Wands. I'm hearing fun. Like, that's the word that is popping into my head here. I feel you need to have more fun. I feel like you need to enjoy yourself more. It's coming up as your outcome, which is good. This could say that your outcome to this month is fun. More fun, more enjoyment, setting yourself free, which is a big theme for you, Taurus, as we've said for years. And this will continue. For you, it's not going to stop. Just because Uranus has left your sign doesn't mean you're not going to still be focused on like freedom or creating more freedom in your life, because you are. Let's see. With the Queen of Wands and the Justice card, you have the Devil. I mean, everybody in July and August had the Devil. I would be careful of anything toxic. I would be careful of any manipulation here. It feels like price manipulation to me. Like I said, Taurus, at the beginning of the reading, it's a very clear message to me. It popped into my head very clearly with that Knight of Swords. Like, second opinion. Even if it's like maybe you're buying something for your business, or whatever. It's like there might just be a better price that exists. This is very retrograde energy, though. This happens a lot. That's why people tell you not to purchase, technology and things like that during Mercury retrograde, which I don't think is true. I think that what is true is, as long as you do your research. I always say, like, the first computer that I bought to use for this channel, for the first, 8 years of this channel, I had one MacBook, right? I bought it during Mercury retrograde, but I really did my research and everything, and it lasted for 8 frickin' years, right? Which is a long-ass time for a computer. So, again, I bought that during retrograde, but I really did my research. The other good thing to do right now would be to, it's like maybe you can get a better deal, or maybe you can buy something that is refurbished, or, something like that. So, there you go. With the Knight of Swords, here you go. You have the Seven of Cups. Again, someone doesn't know what they're talking about. Plain and simple. Sometimes the Knight of Swords isn't necessarily a bad person. It's like sometimes you bring your card to a mechanic, they give you a price, and they just don't know a better way, right? It's like it's not saying they're trying to screw you or anything. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. It doesn't matter. Get a second opinion, right? Whether they are or they aren't. But sometimes people just don't know better, and sometimes bringing something to someone who has more knowledge and wisdom, someone who's older, they might just know a better way to fix things, and it could be cheaper, right? So especially for those of you that are getting something expensive done, and it could even be your health or something like that, it might be worth it to get a second opinion, like I already said. Also, this is typical retrograde energy. This is showing up in the area of what's on your mind. Seven of Cups is a lot on your mind. It is a card of fantasizing and thinking about a lot of options. So, again, slow things down, write things down. I think that is how you will slow things down the best. Is just writing things down, so you write it down, you get it out of your body, and then your brain can go on to the next thing, right? But then you don't lose it, and that's the important thing. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Four of Wands. Yeah, well, I like fours in foundation positions, and this right here is your foundation. Fours are foundational cards, and so it doesn't matter what four we get, really, here. If we have a four here, it kind of says your foundation for the month is pretty strong, so that is pretty good. The Four of Wands can also be marriage, so a lot of you could be getting into a connection that could lead to a commitment. I also feel a lot of you are committing to just like new ideas, which again would be good. We go up to the Queen of Swords, like you're committing to clarity. With the Strength card, you have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, you could be clearing out a lot of crap this month as well. I would actually say you've already probably been doing this month of July, since the retrograde started. So this could be one of those retrogrades where by the end of it, you've really kind of made some big moves in your life, like as in cleared out a lot of, toxic garbage or, personal issues or things that you've been through. So again, I actually feel this is pretty good. The Ten of Swords can be like a blessing in disguise. And so I feel some of you could be experiencing blessings in disguise here as well. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you. Again, there might be some changes you have to make to be able to remember what we said about resources. There might be some changes that you need to make to be able to go get your pilot's license there, Taurus. If I don't know, someone out there might be trying to become a pilot. But whatever you're trying to do doesn't matter. I think that this is saying, you might have to cut some things out or walk away from things that no longer serve you to make it happen. With the Two of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune can be a change in your fortunes, of course. I do feel that. Normally I say we have to take control of the wheel, but I do feel a little bit different for you, Taurus. It's like you are taking control of the wheel. I feel like you are making things happen. I don't know how else to say it. So I just kind of feel this is more of a, taking care of business type of energy for you, Taurus. I'm not getting anything else. I just feel like you're bossed up here for whatever reason. It could be in a love situation. It's like you might get into a situation and be like, yep, this is my person. I'm going to make it happen. With the King of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. Yeah, this is a card of expansion. It's like, yeah, I do think that if you are getting into a connection, that this is going to be something that causes you to grow. It's like expansive. It's probably not like anything that you've been with before, so there you go. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, getting clear on your dream. The Seven of Cups is like your dream or your fantasy in life. And, showing up like this in the area of your mind during a Mercury retrograde can say that maybe and with the Knight of Swords, can say that maybe you haven't been very clear on how to accomplish your dream. And this right here would say that you're getting sudden, clarity on your dream. Or, how to accomplish it, or how to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And it definitely could be a person, like I said, like a new friend or a person who challenges you that brings this clarity into your life. So I kind of feel both love and like a friend. So this could be two people. You're all different. It could be one person. Could be whatever, right? So I think for a lot of you, it's like a person that helps you with your dream. I also do, of course, think that this could be love. And here you go. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups. The more you follow, you can't make it up. Every reading I've done for you, like this year, I think last year as well, you had the Queen of Cups, which is about following your heart. So I think the more you follow your heart, Taurus, the better. And the more you do heart-based things, the better as well, because, that's going to lead to a lot of success. You have this fly card. It says a period of ill health or depression. I would like just take care. I think everybody needs to take care of themselves right now for the whole entire month of August, even past the retrograde. So I really don't think there's anything wrong here. I just think that you just need to take care of yourself. You have this career card. Yes, definitely, there could be a career change. Again, you could be thinking about becoming a pilot. Maybe, like I said, someone out there probably is. But, definitely could be positive career movement. You have this fire card. Yes, it says strong emotion, passionate love or hate. Obviously, I would go in the love direction, the direction of your heart. But I would put more fire into that direction, right? It's like, I think that if you put a lot of energy into negative thoughts, then bad things are going to happen. If you put a lot of energy into positive thoughts, then positive things are going to happen. I know, and it's free. It doesn't cost any money. So I would try it. And I would say that it changed my life. Positive thinking. Toxic, positive thinking. So, that's the direction I would move in here. You have this dogs card. It says getting together with friends. I can't make it up. I said it on that King of Wands. There's something about like a new friend or a new person. I feel like this person kind of like pisses you off, not like in a bad way. I'm talking about like in a good way. It's like maybe they, it's kind of popping into my head as like one of those friends where they could just be blunt. They could just deliver the truth. And it's like, at first you're like, hey, screw you, pal, for like saying that to me. But then maybe also you're like, well, they're also kind of right. It's like, I think you could be meeting a person where it's like you have those moments, right? Where you're like, hey, screw you. But also, yes, you're right. You have this mice card that says discord among family or friends. I don't know, family and friends looks good to me in this reading, but again, if there are any issues, I would, again, we have Mercury retrograde exactly where Mars went retrograde, basically, in Leo. And so, like, again, Mars retro, even though it's not Mars retrograde, doesn't matter. Mercury is, like, bringing back that energy, kind of, I believe, according to Chris's crappy astrology here. So, like, no road rage. My Mars retrograde rules, and for the entire year of a Mars retrograde, no road rage, no flipping people off, no getting into arguments in the home. You always lose when you start fights, right, during Mars retrograde. So, yes, I understand that it's Mercury retrograde, not Mars retrograde. I don't care. What I care about is what the energy is saying. So, the energy is saying to me, don't do these things right now because it'll be bad, right? So, there you go. But this looks pretty good, Taurus. I like it a lot. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.